Okay, so for number 2, we need to graph the quadratic given in standard form. So it's important to remember that standard form is ax squared plus bx plus c. So in this quadratic, a is 1, because it's the number in front of x squared, b is 2, and c is 1. So to find the vertex, to find the x-coordinate, we use this formula, negative b over 2a, opposite of b divided by twice a. So for this, opposite of b is 2, negative 2, and twice a is 2. So the x-coordinate of the vertex is negative 1. To find the y-coordinate, we're going to plug in negative 1 for x to give us negative 1 squared plus 2 times negative 1 plus 1, which actually ends up giving us 0. So the vertex is negative 1, comma 0. So to graph the function, I'm going to make a table putting negative 1, 0 in the middle, going 2 above and 2 below. And so when I plug in negative 3 to the function and I do negative 3 squared plus 2x plus 1, I get out 4. When I plug in negative 2, I get out 1. When I plug in 0, I get out 1. And when I plug in 1, I get out 4. So the graph of my quadratic is going to look like this. Vertex at negative 1, 0, and then a point at 0, 1, and 1, 4. And when I reflect those points, I get this shape of my quadratic. So the steps are to find your vertex using negative b over 2a and plugging it in, and then creating a table to graph it. So my x-intercept is at negative 1. So my graph crosses the x-axis at negative 1. My vertex is a minimum because it's the lowest value. The domain is always all real numbers. The axis of symmetry goes through the vertex at x equals negative 1. The y-intercept is positive 1. We did our values in the table, and the range is y has to be greater than or equal to 0. No y value is lower than 0.